appears, for Prince Harry at least, that charity begins at home. But what does that exactly mean? Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here in the heart of London. Lovely to see you today. Thank you so much for joining me. I know you're busy and it's nice that you take time out to watch our breaking news reports from London. I do appreciate it that you're giving your time up. I know what it's like. We're all struggling, aren't we, for time. But as ever, as I've said before here on the show, we're all friends, we're a club, we're a community. So thank you, truly mean that. But back as ever to your breaking royal story of the day. It all really centres on Prince Harry and that book, you know, the book that he's writing now over in California. Now, what we can tell you, there's some new development, shall we say. It is really going to focus on his relationship with his brother, his father, and of course his late mother, the very lovely Princess Diana. I'm sure really when you think about it, it's going to be a very hard section for him to write, because you have to remember, of course, he was very young when his mother passed away, so his memories will be totally different to that of, say, His Royal Highness Prince William, or indeed, of course, family, friends and people who knew her, because everybody had a different perspective of Diana. They all met her at different points during her life. Because he's so young, it makes it very difficult for him to form, shall we say, a more rounded situation regarding her. And of course, you know, it could be rather difficult if you are the Duchess of Cornwall Camilla, because I'm sure that's going to rear its head at some point in that particular story. But the bigger problem now for Prince Harry really centres on this particular issue. As you know, he signed a big deal with Penguin Random House. They're an international publisher with very deep pockets, who haven't had the greatest of successes of late with their particular offerings. That's all to do, they claim, with the pandemic, people, footfall, everything, people not going out and buying books, which I find really odd when you think about it, because in this particular era, it's where we've been trapped in, isn't it? We could have watched, you know, YouTube, Kindle, bought books in charity shops, bought them online, that sort of stuff. So it's going to be a big problem, of course, for Penguin Random House to sell this book. There's a lot of negativity attached as well, because I think people feel like Prince Harry's doing the dirty, to use a phrase, against his own family. But moving forward with this story, there's one problem now that Prince Harry's going to face, and it's another task for his very much beleaguered public relations team to sort out, and it's this. Basically, there's apparently going to be a sizable donation from the sales of that book to charity. But as ever, we've seen with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, whenever they mention these donations, people get rather upset, because what you have to be very clear about with donations to charity is to show exactly what you're basically giving. Now, for them to just say a sizable donation, what does that mean? What's sizable? And more importantly, who's donating it? Now, when you look at the fine detail in the contract, it basically states that that would be profits, you know, profits from the book. But there's going to be a mass marketing campaign. There's the publishing, the photography, the ghostwriter to pay. There's lots and lots of things attached to the particular money before there are any profits. So of course, if you want to be speculative, how big will the donation be? Well, truly, that's down to the good people who will be buying the book. If the book goes into profits, then a charity would benefit. If it doesn't, then sadly, or hopefully for Penguin Random House, they may at least just break even with this much publicised venture. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.